What is going on, fellow brawlers? It is your host Galadon, and yes, of course, Brawl Stars finally going global, and that is why I waited to start making videos, because really I wanted everybody who comes to the channel to be able to play the games that I play. Now, of course, I did start making a few Brawl Stars episodes early, just because I wanted to try to build up a little bit of a library, just so people could see what to expect as far as free-to-play players. That's right, Galadon free-to-play. I know you may not have heard that term before, but it is happening right here. As hard as it is for me on this account, now I do have two accounts, and in future episodes, we will play them side by side so you can see the difference in progression. So we're going to have a free-to-play, and then we will also have a fully maxed out Star Power Unleashed on everybody, level 10 all over the place account. That is going to be crazy in gems. And of course, you can expect some gemming episodes. But let's go ahead. I just wanted to talk to you as far as my impression, my feeling as a free-to-play player right now. And so far, so good, for the most part. Now, obviously, you don't unlock brawlers very quickly as a brand new player, but you do apparently get some pretty rare ones, or you can have a really good chance of getting rare ones in brawl boxes early on. I did in this account. I believe I've got like 6 or so brawlers unlocked at the moment. And so it gives you a variety of playing styles. And I feel like that's important, because when you're not progressing artificially with gems, you need something to keep you entertained. So you've got really 3 different things here that are going to keep a free-to-play player engaged. Number 1, different brawlers. Number 2, different maps. And number 3, different game modes. And I feel like, unlike Clash Royale, which took, I don't know how long, but it was at least a year before we saw like a new game mode in Clash Royale, right off the bat, the first day you download Brawl Stars, you're in the United States, you've never played it before, you download this game, there are going to be multiple game modes that you can unlock once you progress through the trophies. The trophies help you unlock brawlers, and they also help you unlock game modes. Now, the game modes are very, very different. Some of them are like a completely different game. You've got Battle Royale, you can fight against robots, you can fight against a giant brawler, you can play a version of football. So yeah, there's a lot. Okay, speaking of fighting against robots, this is Robo Rumble. I just recently unlocked it on my free-to-play account, and it is a lot of fun. Now, you can't play this one all the time. It comes and goes, as does the big boss battle. But I gotta tell you, this one's a lot of fun, okay? It's surviving against waves, never-ending waves of robots. You see how long you can survive. There are definitely some stronger than other characters. I feel like Nita is good. I think that Penny is good. Also, obviously, Pam is good if you place her healing turret kind of hidden off to the side. And then Jess. I feel like any of the brawlers that build something definitely have a little bit of an advantage here, and it's a lot of fun. Again, it keeps the game fresh, and that's really what I just wanted to see is it free-to-play going to keep players coming back? Because yes, of course, the game has to make money, but also it is going to rely upon the player who, well, you saw at the beginning of the episode, there was a package in the shop for like $2.79. That was Canadian, so it's even cheaper in US dollars, maybe $1.99 or $2.49. And so yes, that is the player that's going to keep this game alive. The player that spends like $5 a month, or $5 every 3 months, or maybe $10 a year because their mom and dad give them a gift card on Christmas. You never know, or for their birthday, whatever it may be. That's why Clash of Clans has done so well over the last 6 years. It's not because of free-to-play players, and not because of what quote-unquote whale players. No, it's the average player that spends like, you know, $3, $5, $10 a week, a month, a year, that is going to keep this game alive, because those players play by the millions and the tens of millions. So yes, overall, I am enjoying Brawl Stars, but I will not lie to you. I will tell you, I enjoy it more with the gems, okay? Because you know, it's less rewarding. I'll tell you this, it's less rewarding because, again, there's this feeling of accomplishment when you level up a brawler, when you save up the coins to level one up, and I can only imagine how good as a free-to-play player it must feel to unlock either A, a legendary brawler, or B, somebody's star power. That has to be so hard as a free-to-play. And I do know that there are players out there. I would love for you to comment down below if you're a free-to-play player that's been playing in beta, that has done either of those, unlocked legendary brawlers or gotten a star power on a brawler without spending any money. No money at all. Let me know down in the comments. So yes, is it fun? Yes. Is it more fun with gems spent? Yes, but I think that that's also true for pretty much any game out there. Clash Royale, Clash of Clans, the same way. If you haven't watched my episode entitled The Truth About Gems in Mobile Gaming, I suggest it's a good watch, and it really fills you in as to how some of these games survive and the little tricks of the trade that they use in order to maximize revenue. Because after all, these games have to make money in order to continue to bring updates and to continue to pay the developers. It just only makes good business sense. So, alright, back to the topic at hand, and that is the many game modes that unlock free-to-play. Now, I don't know how many hours I have into this free-to-play account. I'm just starting to close in on 1,000 trophies, kind of a big milestone. I haven't played a ton. Remember that I didn't really play the game much after it first went into beta. I honestly played it for about 2 days, and then quit because I decided I wanted to wait until we knew for sure this was going to be playable by everybody before I really committed to it. And now obviously I have this account, several hours played, and the gemming account, well, episode coming, over $1,000 in gems on that account. Yeah, okay, so back to the matter at hand. Right here we are playing Bounty, usually one of my least favorite game modes in Brawl Stars. This one is pretty difficult. I would say that for newer players, this is probably one of the hardest modes. But again, we're going to be giving pro tips. I'll be talking about that. The biggest single tip I could ever give you is to find a band, because this game is so much easier when you play with friends, family, or other skilled players as opposed to randoms. Okay, that's the first point at hand. Now, the number 2 point is trophies, and this gets back to the whole free-to-play, pay-to-win type thing, okay? The difficulty of player that you're going to face is usually, not always, limited or controlled by the number of trophies that player has. So most of the time, you are going to be matched with players that are around your skill level and perhaps have a brawler that is about your level. Now, this doesn't always hold true, especially if you've got a really good player that started a mini account. Sometimes you'll run into that. Or somebody that has gemmed heavily, they will have a much stronger brawler that you will face. But for the most part, it seems pretty even. The other thing I would warn you about is you can't just simply be carried by a higher level player. Like, you've got a buddy and he's got, 10,000 trophies on his account and you've got 500 and you want to play with him because he's going to carry you. That's really not likely to happen. Star player, Galadon right there. And here's why the carrying isn't that easy. If you've got, say, 50 trophies on one brawler and you're going to play duo showdown and your buddy's got 500 on his, you will end up in a duo showdown match with almost all 500 trophy level brawlers. So not only are they A, going to be a higher level than you, B, they're also going to be more skilled than you. So no, that is not usually a good idea. You can't just get carried by a really good player that has a lot of trophies. You can, however, get carried by a really good player that has a mini. And when you run into those, well, it's a good thing if it's your friend, and if it's your enemy, then things aren't going to go so well, because I gotta tell you, the game is really easy to pick up. The fundamentals are super basic, but the skill cap on this game is huge. Really, really good players are insane. I mean, I'll show you some gameplay. I've got the #1 player in the world coming up in a video. I've got many other really, really good players. I'm actually constantly seeking pro players to do interviews with for future episodes, so let me know if you are one or know one. Yes, so yes, it is a huge gap between a pro player and an average player. But then again, this is the same across any type of game of skill like this. Clash Royale, think about it the same way. There's no way an average casual player could possibly compete against a pro player, even if the battlefield was leveled. And obviously, at some point for tournaments, hopefully they'll have something. Now, this is the thing that Brawl Stars is missing right now, and that is any sort of tournament. We don't see it in the game yet. I absolutely think it is coming. There's no doubt in my mind, but the question is, how do they handle this? Will they have a level cap on tournaments? Because I'm guessing as free-to-play, it's going to be almost impossible to unlock star powers to get a brawler to level 10. Alright, so speaking of level 10, check out my 10 power-ups right here as Nita free to play. And this is another thing. You may be the same level as another brawler in Showdown. If you've got power-ups and they don't, you have a massive, massive advantage. Right here, 11 with my teammate, 10 for me, and we just wipe these guys out. It's not even close. So we take them out, and another victory. Duo Showdown feels good, and definitely one of my favorites. One of also the fastest ways to level up in this game is to play Showdown. Okay, because especially if you don't have a lot of friends, I'm not saying you don't have a lot of friends. I'm sure you do, and I'm sure everybody likes you. But what I'm saying is that if you are just looking for quick matches, you don't have to wait for skilled players or certain people to get online. You can always pop into a solo or a duo showdown. Now, duo showdowns are a little more hit and miss. This one right here is with a random. The last one was with a bandmate, and that one definitely, or is it club now? Clan, club, band, guild. Yeah, so I liked band. I thought band was great. Now they're called clubs. It's confusing. And then, okay, you want to hear one more complaint? The user interface. The user interface at the last update. I think that it's going to be okay for new players because it'll be the first time they've seen it and they won't have to adjust. For veteran players, for players who've been playing on the old user interface, it is confusing as heck. It is so confusing. Whether or not it confuses new players, I don't know yet. I'm curious to hear the feedback about that. And amongst other things, the balancing that's happening to the brawlers as well. The new legendary Leon is a lot of fun to play. I've been playing him on the massive gemmed account, and it is a blast. In the meantime, this account, well, I'm just running and trying to hide right here. Trying to stay out of conflict because my teammate died, and you just have to wait out the clock and hope they don't hunt you down. And there you go. So he reappears. And again, this is before the UI changed, so there's a slightly different animation and sound when your fellow teammate reappears. So we're looking pretty good right here. There are 4 teams left. Okay, we're not looking that good. He keeps dying for some reason. And Colt, maybe not ideal, but another thing I would suggest, play all of your brawlers. As a free-to-play player, level them all up relatively evenly. Don't go in full force with just one brawler. That is not the way to go. And, did you see that? Also, don't relax with your hands off the screen too long or you will get kicked out of these matches. All right, so now we have waited. We're playing the waiting game here, just trying to be... hey, come on. This is, if you want to level up in trophies, this is how you should be playing. 3 teams left, and then, that doesn't happen very often. I'm just going to say, the last 2 teams wiped each other out at the same exact moment, and suddenly we went from underdogs to victors. Just like that. So yeah, 6 more trophies, another first place finish. Also kind of cool on your profile, it will record your solo and duo match wins on Showdown. So kind of a cool little thing to show off if you do have a lot of those. But here you go, 965 trophies. We are on our way to unlocking Brock as a free-to-play player. And I'm going to be deadly honest with you right now. It does feel like a little bit of a grind. And what I mean by that is, you're winning, you know, if you're playing Showdown, you could be winning 1 trophy, 2, 3, 6 at the most at a time. It is slow progression. That's a lot of battles that you have to win to get to the next level, to get to right now, it's going to be 1,000 trophies to unlock Brock. It's not fast. You don't breeze through this, but then again, do you breeze from Town Hall 5 to 6 to 7 to 8? No, each one takes a little bit longer, and the same is true here. Now, right now, I've got 8 brawlers unlocked. Most of these brawlers at the top, you unlock just, you know, you get Shelly basically right when you start. You unlock these others as you progress down through the trophies. And then down here, I've picked up Barley, Poco, and Penny. So some really rare brawlers as well have shown up in the boxes, and I feel like I read something somewhere that this is kind of rigged to give you at least one of the really rare brawlers. Maybe not a legendary early on, but something rare to kind of keep you engaged, and I do think that's a good idea because it definitely was exciting. It's a lot of fun to get these brawlers, and I hope that you guys at least give the game a try, and let me know down in the comments what you think. I will be making some episodes about Brawl Stars focusing mostly on Clash of Clans. Either way, I hope to see you back here again tomorrow for more big brawls and full attacks.